Hello, I am Amy Richardson of Richardson Professional Solutions, where we provide back office solutions for small businesses. And today I am bringing some value to you by meeting one of our local community members. I'm going to give him a chance to introduce himself. Tom?
How you doing, Damien? I'm Tom DeBruzzo. I'm the owner of Brandstorm Promotions, and we specialize in customized promotional products and apparel.
All right. So, can you tell me a little bit about your team? You're pretty small, right?
Yes, we've been in business almost 11 years now, and until last August, it was pretty much myself.
Wow.
My wife joined us in August of last year. She handles QuickBooks, social media, which she loves, and a lot of the background check for projects. So when a client asks for certain ideas or things like that, she'll do a lot of that stuff. I handle more of the sales, marketing, and I go through the projects as well. And then we have like a graphic designer that's a contract laborer. And of course, I can't complete the team without our suppliers and vendors. Even though technically I'm one of their clients, without them producing the products, we can't have our clients happy. So they're valuable members of our teams.
Awesome. So, tiny but mighty.
Yes, exactly.
Right. So you touched on a little bit about what you provide, but can you tell me a little bit more about your services, kind of start to finish, and then maybe some example products?
Sure. So we specialize, obviously it's promotional products, but we specialize mostly with helping businesses with their brand awareness. We also work with a lot of nonprofits raising awareness for their causes or special events that help raise funds for their cause. And then also a lot with appreciation gifts, whether it's thank you gifts for clients or employee appreciation gifts. So those are the main aspects that we work with our clients. Start to finish, I typically, will work with the clients to find ideas that work for their main target, whether it's a trade show or a 5K walk or a golf tournament, whatever it might be. And we'll try and get a better idea of what fits their budget, what kind of items they're looking for, what's their demographic, and then kind of present items that we think that would work. A lot of ideas might come from the client. That makes my job easier when they say, "Hey, we want a certain type of tote bag or a tumbler." But sometimes they don't know what they want, so we kind of guide them in the direction. I'll find suppliers that I know and trust or have great products. So then we just kind of start that process from there, hammer out the details of the artwork that they want, and then try and time it out that it meets their in-hand state. So, but we try our best to accomplish their needs.
Wow, that's great. So tell me, what are some of your most popular items? And then what is the coolest thing that you've ever put together for someone?
A lot of times people like, you do pens and T-shirts, and those are the most popular items. A lot of people are like, oh, I don't like koozies. Well, koozies are still popular. So there's the old standby. T-shirts are our number one product that we sell, whether it's for events or just small businesses that want to staff their employees. But pens, tote bags are tumblers. Those are all still popular koozies. As far as the coolest thing. There's been a lot of random things that come up. We did one last year for AU. They wanted something that was a pollinator seed packet for bees. That was something different. We did something also last year for, it was a branded, name brand Bluetooth speaker. It was a big sale for us. They gave it to their employees. It was a $50 value. A lot of times there's a misperception about, promo items that everything's like cheap, made in China, and they're under $1, but that's not the case. We have access to lots of different things, whether it's 25 cents or $250. So it just varies on what you're looking for. But I would say popular wise, T-shirts are the easiest thing for us to sell, and we do a lot of those. But anything that's fun and different, we like to find.
Awesome, that's great. So what would you say makes you different from other promotional companies in the area?
One thing that, I was thinking about this question before, and I don't know how my competitors really run their business or what they do. But as far as what I know that I do is I pretty much specialize in promotional products. That's my niche. That's my thing. Some of them I do signs, and then, promotional products are like an ancillary product that they offer to their clients on a need basis. So for me, I think I've made my name known as someone that specializes in promotional products. That's our number one thing. That's what we do. I do get complimented on my prompt replies to clients. I know when I first moved here, looking for people to work on my house, it was like people don't respond to you. So I guess being prompt is something that I need to stand out. The ideas I provide clients, and also the fact that I am the owner. I don't have to report to, a manager to get things done. So if there is an issue, I handle it.
Right.
I'll go maybe to my supplier to see what they can do on their end, but there's no rigmarole to get to an answer. I'll solve it and take care of that. So.
And as someone who has worked with Tom directly many times before, he is very prompt and very easy to work with, and answers all of my many, many questions, and, embraces my weird ideas that he might not fully support originally, but then when you see that black screen print, it looks great. So definitely highly recommend working with Tom. So we'll transition to our next question of something that you wish business owners knew about your industry, maybe a myth or a common misconception or frequently asked question.
I was thinking about this too. There's a lot of different things out there. When I first started, I had met with an insurance company, and they were actually more trying to recruit me to work for them. But one of the first things that they said to me was like, "You don't want to be known as the pen guy and sell pens your whole life." I'm like, it really irked me. I'm like, there's more than just pens. Right. Yes, pens are cheap and plentiful, but everyone needs them. But I'm like, there are other things. So there is that misconception that promo items are cheap. Like I mentioned before, there are high-end items that we sell and can do. It doesn't have to be just something, a cheap giveaway. Another misconception is also, everything's made in China, or, yes, a lot of things are made overseas. Right. There are areas where they make them besides China. But we do have access to a lot of U.S. made products that a lot of people don't know about. They tend to be a little bit more expensive, but, if you want to support U.S. made products, that's the value. That's what you have to expect. But in general, those are the main misconceptions I've seen over the years. I do get a lot of questions about setup fees and things like that. That's out of my control. Mm-hmm. It's more of the suppliers, and they think that an imprint that goes on a pen is the same that might go on a pop-up tent. Well, it's not.
Right.
When you expand it, it's going to pixelate, and so they need different setups. It's different processes. So that's another thing that I get asked a lot is, is the setup fee going to be the same for this or that? And we just have to kind of direct them like it's different because it's a different item, different size, different process. So a lot of times they don't understand that.
Right. That's great. So speaking of working with your suppliers and things like that, what is generally some lead time that you need to be able to get something turned around for a customer without having to do, a rush fee or anything like that?
No problem. Well, prior to COVID, standard turnaround time I would tell people was 2 to 4 weeks. Now we can do rush items under 2 weeks. And if you do want something produced mass, large volume overseas, we could do that as well. Those take 1 to 3 months. But typically 2 to 4 weeks, I tell people. Since last year, things have gotten a little bit better. There are supply issues still, some inventory issues that might cause delays. Like I just had mint tins for a client that was ordered in December and that just got shipped out this week because the tins were on back order. So we still deal with those issues, but for the most part, we're still back to the 2 to 4 week window, maybe 5 weeks for some things. But we're able to find supplies if there is a rush need for somebody or they need it within 3 to 4 weeks. And one thing I've told clients over the last 2 years is you have to be flexible because the stock might not be there or whatever the issues that the item that you want, the turnaround is going to be too long to meet your in-hands date. So let's be flexible and find an alternate option that might be a little bit different but can meet your event date.
So I know that pricing is really going to vary based on what they choose, but as someone who has ordered promotional products before, you can't just get a box of 25 pins, right?
Correct.
If you want something with your branding on it, it's a little bit of a financial commitment most of the time. So can you give us a little bit of an idea of how that's broken down, what people need to expect when they order something as far as quantity versus pricing and kind of how that relationship works together?
I try and tell people to find what is their budget? What are we working with? A small business owner, if they want to have a full gamut of options, whether it's staff apparel, giveaways for at events, and then maybe some client gifts, budgeting around $1,000 to $2,000 for the year can get you that amount of stuff that spreads out. You might spend, $100 on pens, 500 on shirts and other items. So that's a good mix. But again, we try and, figure out what is your budget. We've had sales for $100 and that's all they spend a year. And then, the one item I mentioned before, that was a, $10,000 deal. We've had others, over $25,000. So it just depends on what they're looking for. But, for a small business owner that's looking to kind of get their name out there and get a full array of ideas, I try and tell them, budget around $1,000, $2,000 max for the year, and we could spread that out. And we've worked with you,
Right.
spreading out. What your budget is for the year. You could do $250, $300 a month, whatever it might be, or a quarter, and we'll work with you to find out what's the best fit and how we can help you out the best.
Yeah, and Tom, again, is very easy to work with. When I first got started in my business, I definitely could not order $2,000 worth at one time. So it was very easy for me to have a conversation with Tom and say, okay, I can do pens in January, but please wait until, March or April to do this next item. So again, very easy to work with. So, all right. Well, Tom, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much
No
for
problem.
being
Thanks
with
for
us
having
today.
me.
So tell our audience how they can get in touch with you or learn more about your business.
Well, you can find us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. Also, our website, brandstormpromotions.com. And you can also call us, 706-868-9003. And we'd love to talk to you and see how we can help you out.
All right. Perfect. Thanks again.
No problem. Thank you, Amy.